area. He's a real walker, and he's going to add on a little bit to his Walks with Charlie discussion to talk about the Arlington Parks, Streams, and Birds course as well, of which he is also an instructor. So please join me in welcoming Marty, course number 3022.
Well, this is a first time for this course, Walks with Charlie, and I know people were confused seeing in the catalog because everything else, the title pretty much explains what it is. Well, in 2017, I published a book called Walks with Charlie. That's Charlie, by the way. And the cover was selected so that it would actually sell books, and if they didn't like the book, they could cut it out and frame it, and that's it. So Charlie's my girl. Charlie's 9 years old. And she's in great physical shape because she and I do somewhere between 6 and 8 miles a day of walking in Arlington. So we know Arlington very well, and particularly South Arlington, which is where we live. And so when I did this, then I did a thing at the Historical Museum, and then I got a request to develop a course for the Arlington Leadership Group, and they just wanted a one-time shot. So they said, take your best shot at picking out a tour that's in here, and then do that. And I said, well, let's see if we can get that to work, because it would be a walking tour. And can I get people to walk 2 miles? Well, the answer is you can do that if you do it in an hour and a half. And you have to have potties strategically located so that people can, in fact, not be under pressure the whole time. Well, when I put this one together, there were things that were in this book in 2017. That's 3 years have elapsed since, and I wrote a lot of it between 2014 and 2017. And there were things that I wanted to improve upon, and I started a book called Walks with Dad, which was going to be written from her perspective about doing this stuff. But then I thought, there were things about this first edition that I didn't care about. I was forced by the publisher to kind of reduce images so that they were hard to read. And I thought, no. And then, every time you found a typo, I hate that when you do that, right? You open up a book, and you've written the book, and you published it, and there's a typo. It's just on a page you open up, and you say, how did that happen? And the publisher says, well, I'll have to charge you $50 for every word that, you fix. I thought, nah, I'm not going to do that. So then I decided to publish Walks with Charlie 2nd edition. And Walks with Charlie 2nd edition, same girl. But there's more in here. There were a lot of the stories that I had written subsequent to this that, in fact, I included in it. And then when I got committed to do this course, I said, let me orient the whole book so that, in fact, it is the course. And so this will be part of the course. If you want to get into the details, but also I blew up the images that had been shrunk in the previous edition so that now they're very readable. And most of these are not published anywhere. Almost all the stories in here have never been published other than ones that I published in the Arlington Historical Journal and places like that. But there are things in here that are for the first time visible because I got them out of the archives, the archives of Washington, as well as the Library of Congress. And so there are things in here that I had to have them digitized to actually get them into the book. So this is Walks with Charlie. It's the various walks are explained in the catalog, so you want to look at that. I know people have taken, and in general what we do is we start up toward the Pentagon and then work our way around South Arlington in each successive week. So they're all grouped that way. Okay? And then for the other course, which is the Parks and Recreation one, I've taught with that one for 2 semesters now already. I am one of 4 or 5 multiple instructors that do that, but I've also taken the classes that I don't teach. And I have found it to be spectacular. I loved every bit of it. It's learning about plants and birds and our parks of Arlington, which most people don't know about. The place that I've taught was the 4 Mile Run. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with 4 Mile Run, but it is a spectacular historic location. And it's not 4 miles long, by the way. 4 Mile Run is 9.5 miles long. and it didn't get its name because of its length. And if you don't know any of those things, you learn that right off the bat. And that's also, by the way, the whole story of 4 Mile Run is not included in the Walks with Charlie, but the stories are included in here as well for that. And I'm done. Both courses covered.
Chuck and